tuning in. I hope you all have enjoyed the holidays as I have, and I have a story for you. I think every parent that's ever been through this would understand how frightening it is, and more importantly, just as a father, I can never get used to it. It's one of the worst situations I think you could go through as a parent. But my daughter had a seizure during the holidays this Hanukkah. For many of you who do observe, as my family observe Hanukkah, this year is very special because Christ Mass, Christmas fell on Hanukkah, and I think it's a very divine and prophetic statement, in to say the least. And then I have this such a devastating event that takes place that happens. Man, it's not the good. It's not a good feeling at all. You're afraid, you're frightened, and I didn't grow up with anybody in my family ever having seizures. Many of you may know. And I have to be careful on what I say because I'm under an NDA paperwork. Fancy terms for they don't want you to talk about it, which is okay. I never intended to talk about the specifics and the details or say certain things. However, there some time ago, my daughter was involved in an incident in which she was sick after being in a pool. Essentially, was sickened from the pool. And one, they say once you have a seizure, they say, you can be more prone to more. It's like it opens up the door, you open the can up. That's just what happens. So I wasn't expecting anything like this to happen. It's been just devastating. I'm going to get into kind of what happened. But just if you are a parent, understand if you went through that. And there's some parents, their children consistently have seizures and they're under seizure medication. So I'm very thankful to God that that's not my case, and I don't hope that never is the case. My attorney did say that my daughter can still sue when she gets 18. So if that becomes the case, oh, we're definitely going back in. But more importantly, but I pray that that's not the case. I want my daughter to be healthy and whole, and no one should have to experience this, especially if they didn't have health problems, they were not born with it. And even if they were, get well. Recovery is serious. Seizures are not something to play with. They're just not. I mean, I remember, I'm gonna go before I talk about this recent seizure that just happened late last night or early yesterday morning. When I first experienced my daughter's seizure, I didn't even know what was happening. In fact, I thought she was choking the first time I experienced it. Um, so I mean, I just grabbed her and ran out. I mean, I'm ready to just go off to the hospital, 100 miles an hour. I had no understanding. There's some seizures that are under 1 to 3 minutes or something like that. They're categorized into one category, and then there's some that's like longer than that, 5 minutes plus. They're categorized as a more serious, uh, you know, um, set or criteria of seizures. And my daughter has failed, unfortunately, in both categories. This time yesterday, though, it was a short one. Thank God I had just got some medicine into her. I gave her some medicine that would deal with fever because, I can't even allow her. So, like, if anybody in my family or anyone or siblings, if they are sick or anything like that, if they have a fever, I got to make sure she doesn't. And I have to make sure she has medication. So, if anything, so I gave her medication prior just because she said she wasn't feeling well, and she was feeling a little warm. And I didn't think much of it. And then before you know it, uh, she just start you just look at her, and she it almost like as a gagging sound, and then you see her choking, and then it's kind of like her eyes can roll in the back of her head almost, and there's foam at the mouth, and you're just, had I not been through this before, and I didn't, I paid, oh, it was a long process uh concerning my daughter's first situation, what she went through, to kind of open the door to all of this. And I learned so much. I listened to so many attorneys. I listened to doctors. I paid attention to everything, all the notes, because I needed to know what I was dealing with, what I could potentially be dealing with in the future. And I learned so much. I dealt with so much. And I'm being honest, I took in as much as I could with no problem. I want to make sure that I could gain as much as I could, and that I could um, be the best father in a situation, to equip my family and my daughter, just to protect her and to be there for her. And so this started to happen. So I'd already gave her medicine, which I think greatly helps because, it's going to help bring down the temperature. But then also, I know, cold water helps bring down your body temperature. So there was another tactic and things I learned is that, if you can get them cold water, they have to drink, stay hydrated. That also helps so other organs and things don't shut down when they have like high fevers, because high fevers is what trigger the actual seizures. Your body thinks it's an infection, it's trying to fight it off, but then neurons in the brain go off, and it's just a nasty, nasty cycle. It's nothing. I never experienced it. It's never been hereditary for me or my family, not that I know of, from my wife. So I don't know what's going on. Just know that the first incident really, it really, this I was really upset about it. But I know so many other kids around that time got sick too, and none of them had just the resolve my daughter did, the getting healthy. She hasn't had a seizure since then. So I want to say this is a road of health and in recovery. And, she's in the process again of getting checked out. We called her primary doctor and things of that nature. So that we're still in the process of handling things, but I just thought I would come and share that because now that it seems this has been a part of my life, now that it is a part of my life now, yeah, this year keeps giving, and yeah, gave us another incident. This year to close out the year with is a seizure. And I would say it was less than a minute. I would say it was short lived. I think because of how we responded and reacted, and it helped. Um, but yeah, this was a scary thing for any parent that goes through seizures, that is experiencing that. Hey, email me. You got any tips, anything that you know about? I'm consulting every doctor, every professional that I can. And there was actually even some seizure medicine. I may look into it, but if it's not natural, it's holistic, I don't want to deal with it. Okay. I'm really against medications that are not holistic and plant based, and I don't want to just have anything on my daughter. But again, my daughter had a seizure end of 2024, day of Hanukkah, right after Christmas, and it was a sad thing. And I'm just thank God I was there, for my wife, because she really, it probably hurt her more than anything. She's crying, and I knew at that point all I could do was act. So help, lower her body temperature. She already had medicine. We called the professionals, and we've been in process for recovering, getting her checked and seen since then. But I just want to share that with you because it's never a good experience. It's devastating. It seems every time. I hope I don't have to go through this again. But it seems that the fever, once this triggered, this happens. So again, if you guys ever struggle with that, deal with that, please say a prayer. Pray for me, my family, my daughter with this, because I never experienced this. She never experienced this. And again, it was an incident some years ago that happened, and she's been prone to this ever since.